Get away from her, you bitch!
Oh, shut up, you tart!
Who disrupts my coronation?
Get to the chopper!
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am, of course, that bitch, Calista Valentine. He is the random man, Guy JB, and we're here this week for a little bit of a geeky chat.
That we are. Hello.
So, how have you been during the week, Mr. Random Man?
I've been a big old ball of snot.
Much the
and
same
coughing.
As myself, then. Much the same as myself, then. I've tried to get bits done on the book, and it's literally just like, I've done a paragraph. That'll do for now. I just want to curl up on the sofa, eat soup, and watch crap on Prime, you know? So,
yeah.
That's why my watch list this week is a little bit longer than expected. I've had the time to actually sit and be like,
oh, that's all right. Mine's really short, so that kind of balances.
Balances it out then. But speaking of such things, shall we roll on?
Well, why not?
Let's roll on down that river and let's hit the
rolling down the river.
Do you think rolling down the river and smoke on the water are the same event from different perspectives?
No, because one was written years before the other.
You know, it's like It's Raining Men and Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. It's the same event from different perspectives.
Oh, I like that. That's got legs.
Well, broken.
And arms and torsos. Oh dear.
But
you can tell with my feel, folks.
Yeah, we're not. I'm hyped up on like cough syrup and energy drink right now. It's the only thing keeping me awake. But right.
And I'm my usual mellow self on the grape juice. Cheers.
So moving on with the shout outs. Up first, we have the man, the myth, the beard, Agent JK47, our man from down under who likes to plunder. It is, of course, the Ginger Ninja JK.
Oh, JK.
JK. All right, my flower.
You wanted to take your flower.
Shenanigans. Can never have enough shenanigans. It's the shenani goats you need to be careful of. We went over this last week.
You do.
They show up.
They're little bastards, they are. They're little bastards.
But anyway, thanks for the shout outs. Plural on that one.
Yeah.
Watching The Walking Dead, about to get up to Negan being introduced. So it's getting good.
Ooh.
I didn't get that far with Walking Dead. I noped out on season 3 because I felt that season 3, it went on a little bit too long. And by the time it got to the final episode, I was just kind of bored. It was just like, they beat him at last. Then season 4 when it was announced, and I just didn't even bother with it. From season 4 onwards,
well, I've got something to tell you that will probably divide a few people.
Never watched it.
I've never watched it now.
I only got into it because on a little tangent here, people, when the comic books first started coming out, what is now Waterstones in Burton's used to be known as, I think it was Oticas.
Yes, it was.
And there was this period in time where my brother and sister would send me like book tokens. And I went in there and I bought like the first 3 collected editions that they had there. And I fell in love with it. It was black and white. It was sort of give me a bit of a 28 Days, but in America kind of vibe to it. And I kind of really liked it. And then not long after me and my ex-partner got Sky TV for the first time. Do you remember when Sky TV used to send out that little booklet, that little magazine that would sort of show up?
Oh, God, yeah.
And it was like, things coming to Sky soon. Yeah. And I was flicking through that one afternoon. We received a copy of that in the post, and The Walking Dead was there, and I was like, "Oh
shit!
What?
Cat?
Oh dear." But yeah, when I saw it in the magazine, I was like, "Oh my god, that comic book that I like! It's becoming a TV show." So I kind of got invested in the first few seasons, but then when I started to see the Divergent, where it was moving away from the comic book, I was like, "Uh oh,
yeah."
And then season 3, I just noped the hell out. But anyway, continuing on with JK's comment.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Jacob.
Daredevil, I'm 4 episodes in now, and it's ... Okay.
Ooh, I've not started that yet.
I've not either. I think I'm probably going to give it a viewing this coming week.
I think I want to wait until it's
Finish the run.
Yeah, I want the lot and then binge.
Maybe, because I mean, She-Hulk for me was one of those ones where I left it a few, and then it was very hit and miss. But Secret Invasion, I tried to catch that week by week, and it fell off a fucking cliff.
Yeah.
So you know,
those first 3 episodes were great. But...
yeah, but it fell at the last 2, which is anyway. Right.
What?
Reacher is awesome. That is all. He doesn't say that is all. I added that bit, but yeah, just
well, it is.
And nope. This is in writing, so I'm going to rub it in your face a bit here, guy. Nope. ... Calista is right. Garbage did The World Is Not Enough. Good song, not so good movie. It was all right for what it was. But yes, to be fair, looking it up online, it is actually listed as Shirley Manson from Garbage. When you look the song up online, it's got her.
Yeah.
So it's like, technically it's Garbage, but it's more the lead singer than the rest of the band. So I can't. I was half right.
I'm willing to bet you Butch-Vig produced it, and he's the drummer in Garbage.
Probably, but again, when I go through Bond theme tunes, that one sticks in my head because it's really, really well done. Her voice is just perfect for it. Anyway, with my whole old housemate, we used to play those guess the theme games on YouTube, and there are so many classic TV theme songs and movies. Can't go past the A-Team, Terminator, and Mission Impossible. Great episode. Have a great week. We did. Thank you.
Cheers, JK.
Thank you very much, JK. Thank you for the love. Moving on, we have the Mouth of the South. The made me a widow to destiny this weekend, the motherfucker. Love you, Jimmy. Hello from the Shire of Derby. The motor mouth has arrived. Run away. Yeah, well, I'm not so much running away as like in the back of a pickup, like the end of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, screaming to get the hell away from you right now. Not in my good books right now.
Trouble in Paradise.
He's looking at a one-way ticket on the Pineapple Express straight to hell. I'll have him lined up next to Hitler and Mussolini.
Lube or no lube? No lube. You get it fucking dry. I'm going to hurt you, bitch.
Anyway.
Sorry. It's my problem. I'll deal with it, folks.
I have layers of failing. Apparently, I'm an onion. No, you're not an onion, because an onion, you know, it goes down and eventually it gets to a core. You're more like Mario. As in, no matter how many times you think you've got to the last level, sorry, Mario, the princess is in another castle. Old school gamer reference there. Your princess is constantly in another castle. That's all I'm going to say.
I thought you were going to make a Rainbow Road.
And it's usually mine.
Now when.
Anyway, great episode. As you know, I love music, so there are a few soundtracks I like, and a good one can make even a poor movie a little bit more bearable. Yeah, I said in the previous soundtrack episode we did, Alien 3 is that one for me. Like, the film's not so great. Even the assembly cut, it's still not as good as the first two. But when you listen to that music during the funeral scene and the sacrifice scene at the beginning and the end of the film, it just kind of elevates those scenes to, if the rest of the film had been better, it probably would have got an Oscar for those scenes alone. You know, it's one of those, like, the music makes those scenes. If it was a different soundtrack, it would have fell flat.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. All good picks. However, I'm going to mention Stranger Things. Yes, that was one of Guy's picks. Great pick, Guy. Love the fact that they only pick songs that came out in the year it's set in. Yeah, that is kind of one thing that if you go on Netflix and watch Beyond Stranger Things, it's only for the first couple of seasons, but they talk about the music and how they kind of wanted to encapsulate that year that the show was set in. So the big movies that were out that year, the big songs that were out that year, all these little pop culture things that make it 1984 or 1985, they really wanted to emphasize that, so it gave you that feeling of being in that time period, and it worked.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a thing.
Go on, like I said, go on Netflix, Beyond Stranger Things. It's like behind the scenes interview with the cast and crew and things like that.
Right, so like DVD extras, but on telly.
Basically, yeah, it's more like it was its own little show that premiered after each episode when the first couple of seasons. I think it's only up to season 3. It doesn't come to season 4.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll check it out.
Cheap little plug there for Netflix. Beyond Stranger Things. If you've not watched it and you like your extra bits for your shows and stuff, it's worth a watch.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Anyway, right, continuing on. Hence, Kate Bush and Metallica were picked for the 1986 sections.
Well, point of fact, Master of Puppets came out in 85.
I think the time period of season 4 for Stranger Things is meant to be sort of the crossover from going in from 85 into 86, I think. Because it starts at Halloween and I think it ends after New Year. Don't hold me to that. But yeah, anyway, continuing on.
Yeah, sorry, being picky.
What makes that scene better is he's actually playing the guitar for most of that scene. No easy feat considering that riff. Yeah, the actor who played Eddie was actually playing for as much of that as he could.
All right, cool. Yeah.
So tip of the hat to him on that one.
I'd play that.
Yes. From Dusk Till Dawn, also great pick. I've watched this, one of a few horrors you have watched. Funnily enough, I was listening to Pulp Fiction soundtrack and agree most of Quentin films have a fantastic soundtrack. Django being another one. Yes, Django Unchained has got a very good soundtrack.
It's just a shame it's got Jamie Foxx in it.
Although I did like him as Electro in Spider-Man. Not the Andrew Garfield one, the Tom Holland one where he did the sort of redo of Electro. Like,
yeah, I just find him melodious, man.
Yeah, not a great man, but a good actor.
Yeah.
Anyway, Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes. Feel it should be a pick. Great soundtrack. It was a pick. Yeah. Was it a pick or was it an honorable mention? I think it was a pick.
I believe it was an honorable mention.
Yes. Anyway.
Yeah.
Battlestar revamp. Bear McCreary did fantastic with that.
Yeah, yes, I would agree with that. Great music.
Been catching up on Supernatural, still trying to fit Resident Alien in. AJ is going to be upset soon. We're running out of Spider-Man and X-Men. Episode signing off. Well, see, the great thing about him being a kid is once he reaches the end, you can just go back to the beginning again and watch it all over again.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like just at the right time when my daughter got into the wonderful show that is Peppa Pig. Nick Jr., in their infinite wisdom, decided to do Peppa Pig month, which meant from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. every day for a month, it was nothing but Peppa Pig. So can you guess what my daughter watched for a month? Click, click, boom. Bacon roll.
Oh, this shit shouldn't such Joe's voices anyway.
Anyway. Right, then, yes. Catch you next episode. Signing off. That's it from Jimmy for that week. And then... Oh, I need to refresh this shit. Give me a minute. Comment section needs refreshing because somebody made a late one.
Oh.
Right. Doubling up on his comment section for tonight, it is, of course, the Calico Crichton.
Oh, he made it in.
The Pertwee. the cowboy, better known as Gaptooth, Tony Harris, over from the Retro Movie Zone. Guys, just started watching this episode. Been looking forward to this one all week. I'll post another comment when I've finished. But if I've missed your recording time tonight, my sincerest apologies. Guys, back shortly. And he managed to slip in a comment an hour ago. So, Tony, you get top comment of the week.
Well, he always did like slipping in the back door.
Mm-hmm. Especially with his comment last week. Have I got time to do Cali? You buy me a fucking drink first, mate.
Yeah, too right.
I know I got a bit of a rep, but I at least want to be wine and dine first. Anyway.
I'll buy a 69.
Anyway, brilliant episode, guys. Really enjoyed this one, as I do love movie and telly soundtracks. Some great picks too. RoboCop did have an awesome soundtrack. Couldn't be mistaken for any other film. Slight tangent here. When the remake came out, I spoke to my friend Colin about this because we kind of watched it both around about the same time for the first time. I know. I went into it blind.
Don't the faith.
I gave it a chance. I went into it blind. And the one thing I will say is, upon first viewing, when it does the RoboCop logo flashes up and it does the but like a modern version of that RoboCop march, I was like, this is a RoboCop film. But then the rest of the film happened and it really wasn't a RoboCop film. But for those few fleeting moments when it first started, I was like, I have a little bit of faith here.
I think the best part of that movie was Samuel L. Jackson. But
you know what? Right. Yeah, I can agree with you on that. Like, as the media break guy.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially viewed through today's lens, there's something a bit more. Was that a prediction there from older Mr. Jackson? You know, is this the way the world's kind of going?
Why is it going to be real voice?
I don't know.
Oh, that's Stewie Griffin.
Would you like some sausage?
No, but Tony would. Anyway.
Back to Tony's comment. Right. As for Boogie Nights, I love it as it's pure 70s and 80s. Grabbed it on Spotify and it's amazing.
It is.
It is. It's a very good soundtrack. I might actually see if I can track the film down on Blu-ray or something, because it's been a while since I watched it. I remember enjoying it, but it's been a while since I watched it.
I would like a Blu-ray copy, I must admit.
Where were we at? Haven't heard From Dusk Till Dawn soundtrack, but as you say, Tarantino knows a thing or two about throwing together a cool soundtrack.
Okay, Tony, have you seen the film?
You need to watch the film From Dusk.
Have you seen the film? I don't know.
Like, it subverts expectations. That is the one thing I can definitely say. If you know nothing about From Dusk Till Dawn, going into it not knowing anything, you will sit there going, "Oh yeah, I see where. Wait, what? Eh?
Yeah.
Who, when? How? Why?" Like, it takes a hard left. Like, you're like, "Whoa! I did not see that coming." If you know nothing about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on. Itch my face.
What else you got to say?
Yes. Also haven't heard Hook, but I'm guessing it's good. The film, it's meant to be a sequel to Peter Pan. It stars Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman as the title character Hook. And okay, it's not a great film, but for me, I grew up watching it a lot when I was ill as a child, so it's got a nostalgia thing for me.
Oh.
You're getting evil faces, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
I take it the old adjudicator over there likes Hook too.
Oh, she loves Hook.
I'm not alone. I'm not alone. It's a good film, isn't it?
Oh, she has given you the thumbs up and the nod.
Adjudicator, do us a favor. You know that soft toy turd that you've got? Please throw it in. Throw it at him. Please, you have my permission to abuse the random man.
What? You mean this one?
Yeah, there you go. That's my new co-host.
Hello. I'm turd.
Random turd. Guy J. Poo.
Hello, folks. This week I'll mainly be drinking and doing dodgy impressions.
Oh, the show out yet. Don't mix cough syrup with them. Cheap energy drinks.
Woo, woo. Bang, bang, bangers. And she's gone.
God, in a minute if I can't stop. I'm coughing.
And that was us celebrating the broadcasting career of Calista.
I'm leaving all this in this summer on. I'm leaving this shit in because this is a peek behind the curtain. This is Toto pulling that curtain back and the old fucking wizard's there pulling his knobs and his nips.
So here's what we do, folks. We just fuck about.
You don't see half the shit that we have to cut out of these sometimes. There's certain jokes we cannot broadcast. I'm sorry, but we can't. Anyway, right. Oh, Stranger Things. I can't even remember the music, but I'll give it a whirl. You should. You should. If you like 80s music, get right on up on it.
Tony, on the Spotify again, and just type in Stranger Things, and you'll find the soundtracks.
Yeah, there's the actual like incidental music, the actual score for the film, for the show.
There's that,
and
plus
there's
the
songs as well. And then there's actually a remixes of songs, like the Separate Ways kind of alternate they did for season 4, which I love that, by the way. That is so beautifully done.
That's a great song anyway. So
yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I mean. It's a good song anyway, but what they did for that scene in the show, like power. Anyway, moving on to Bond here. Man with the golden gun, bloody awesome, as he put it. Nuff said, never seen Howard the Duck, so can't comment about the music. I was listening to the soundtrack literally as Guy logged into the meeting. I had it playing in the background. So. But yeah, give it a check out, Tony. If you like 80s, not big, huge known names, but just that like music that encapsulates that 80s feeling, give it a try. Back to the Future, brilliant soundtracks for all 3 movies. Definitely.
Yes.
Great.
Don't just pick any old shit, you know.
Yeah, we picked some good stuff. We got taste.
All goes into this.
Not everyone around here watches Star Trek Discovery. Anyway, great episode, guys. Can't wait for next week's. Looking forward to talking about your choices on next Saturday Retro Movie Zone. By the way, where did you get that stuffed poo emoji? I need one of those in my life right now.
Hold on, I will go to the adjudicator. Amazon.
There you go, Tony.
Hi. It's a hanky, the Christmas poo, that's the end, I love you.
Hope I've caught you before recording this week's episode. You did. Just
you're lucky this time. You wouldn't get fucking rinsed, boy.
You were. We planned. We're like,
right. He's not commenting. Right. He's not watching. Right. We're gonna fucking rinse it.
And 2 comments pop up, and it's like, oh, you're safe for now. You're just out of reach now. Oh,
got away with it this time, boy.
Hope the long comments not too much for you. No, long comments are perfectly fine as long as it makes sense. Unlike Jimmy.
Well, looks like we got ourselves a latecomer.
Toodle pip, as Jason would say. Thank you so much for the love, Tony. It is always appreciated. And thank you for commenting twice this week and getting the top slot.
Yes, thank you very much, your brother.
Yes. Anyway, moving on with the show.
Yeah, we better add really.
Yes, it is time. It is time for the age-old question. When man invented fire and also then created TV somehow at the same time and turned to his cavemen friends and said,
what's this other hole?
Which translates to what you been watching there, mate.
Right then.
Right then.
Well, guess what I've been watching?
TV
Oh, yes, I've been watching Foxes Afloat again.
again.
I'm just obsessed with it. I can't
Hey,
stop.
why not? You found something you like. Go with it.
Yeah, and there's like fringing on episodes to catch up on. But in news, just in, myself and Sandy caught up today. We've got one more episode to go, and then we can subscribe and get it weekly, and then I can watch other things because I'm not being obsessed.
Well, that's good you've been doing that then.
And I also watched Moana 2. That was this afternoon. I wonder whose choice that was.
I wonder. Was it
Oh,
yours?
it wasn't mine. This is like Hong Kong Fooey. Was it old JB's choice? Was it the adjudicator's choice? Was it Rose's choice? Could be.
But yeah, so is that all you've been watching? It's very, very short this week.
Yes, that's it. Moana 2 was actually not bad.
I've not even watched the first one.
First one's good for a kids Disney film. Second one is okay. It's got good points, got some mere points, but
Sequels tend to, though, don't they?
yeah, diminishing numbers.
Or
That's
law
it.
of diminishing returns in terms of story. Sometimes it's like
Yes.
"Oh, this line again."
So yeah, that's it for me.
Right then, well then my watch list this week's been pretty fucking stacked. I've been watching a bit more than their Winchester Boys.
We're in Winchester Boys.
Yeah, up to no good. Never meaning no harm. Wait, wrong show.
Just some good old boys. Yeah, but that does come up later.
Yes, it does.
That does come up later in the show, doesn't it? So,
But yeah, so I've been watching that. Watching again Big Bang Theory as I've been trying to sleep. It's my go to sleep show now. I've watched it that many freaking times that it just I put it on to go to sleep. But I did manage this week because they were leaving Prime, so I was like, I best get these watched while I've got the chance to.
oh,
I got caught up with the I Spit on Your Grave trilogy. I watched the final two films, and I will say I don't know whether it was because the first one was so brutal and in your face that the beginning part of the second one, when it gives you the setup before the vengeance,
yeah.
I don't know, there was just something about it that it didn't hit me as hard as the first one. It was like, yeah, I get it, it's bad, but something about the first one just felt more raw, more real. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's not to say that I didn't enjoy the second film overall, but compared to the first one, I just felt this one was not as good. The third one, however, oh my God, it poses a lot of fucking kind of moral questions.
Should we be making this film?
More a case of what would happen if someone who's been at the hands of these abusers, what would happen if they started treating the people who were trying to get to them the way that they were treated themselves? Like, there's a bit right towards the end where she finally kind of snaps. And I was sat there going, you know what? I get it. You know, like, all these men that sort of wolf whistling, like, oh, hey, baby, you want to have a good time? Well, how would they like it if all of a sudden we flipped it round on them and got overtly aggressive and touchy-touchy with them? Like, it was just like, I get where she's coming from. Like, flip it back on them. See how they fucking like it. Like, but yeah, I enjoyed the first and the third one were really good for me. But I think that's because the third one picks up the story of the girl from the first one, whereas the second one, the second one's kind of very isolated. It's its own thing. There's no real mention of it in the third one.
Yeah.
So I think if you were going to watch the series, I recommend going number 1, number 3, because it's sort of a continuous story with the same character. But that's
yeah.
But yeah, I got caught up on that. And I did watch a film the other night, but must not have been that entertaining because I can't even remember what the fuck it was called. It was one of those, that looks good kind of films. I put it on, I didn't even make it past the intro.
Yeah.
Random pick suggested by Prime, like, because you watch this, you might like this kind of idea. And I can't even remember what it was.
That rarely works.
It clearly did not draw me in at all. At all.
There you go. Is that the lot?
That is it for what you've been watching, mate.
Right. Time for the meat.
Yes, on for the meat and potatoes of tonight's episode. I haven't
I'm trying to avoid carbs.
Oh, I'm craving carbs like a son of a bitch at the moment, but
Who am I kidding? I'm not fucking avoiding carbs. I had a massive roast dinner today.
I'm craving carbs at the moment. There's reasons for that.
Well, fair. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on with the subject of tonight's episode, we are doing a little bit of a geeky chat. We're talking about things that have been announced just recently, collectibles, games, maybe some films and TV shows and other such things. Things that are just within the world of geekdom that have made us go, ooh, ooh, ooh. Made us do the meerkat. Ooh, 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 ooh. Well, I like the look of that. Ooh. So, we want those. We want those. Right, we are going to start. This is kind of in no particular order. We just sort of looked stuff up and went, yeah, pictures. So
obviously, we will be flashing pictures up on the screen.
There will be pictures shown during the video. So watch it, Tony, not listen.
Yes.
To show what we're talking about. We've just got the pictures in front of us so that we can relay the information to you. You will see the pictures in full on the screen. But anyway, up first from the Nacelle Company, which guess where they got their name from?
I wonder.
It is a range of what they call 1/12 scale Star Trek figures. Now, when I showed this to Guy was just like, they are very nice.
Yes, they are very nice because you're not getting the usual suspects.
Yes. We talked about this before we started the episode. It is brought up in videos that I've watched on YouTube covering New York Toy Fair. That's where these images are from. And they basically said that they didn't want to do what every other company has done. When most toy companies get the license for Star Trek, you get Kirk, Picard, maybe a Spock or two. Then they move on to something else. They don't fill out the line with other captains, other side characters, things like that. So that's what Nacelle are doing. And they're doing a wave of 8 figures, which just, I'm not going to go through the whole list of names, but you can see just by the pictures that we're showing you on screen that these are some very kind of fan requested characters.
Yeah.
And I mean, the one that gets it for me is Tuvix. I was a fangirl.
Oh, you mean Tuvok?
No, it's Tuvix. It's a combination of Tuvok and Neelix.
Oh, of course. Yeah. But it's been a while. It's a long time since I've seen.
The one thing that I really like with this is the Captain Jellicoe figure.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Comes with a fish tank, and it's one accessory he shouldn't have because he tells them to get rid of it in the episode that he's in.
Yeah.
Lovely little story behind why they included that with a Captain Jellicoe figure. It's like most people who are going to buy a Jellicoe have probably already got a Picard to go with it. So that's more of an accessory to go with your Picards. But
I love the deep cut of that. Is just because it's a character that appeared in one episode of TNG.
Yeah, I know. And well, that was kind of what I think his name's Brian Volk Weiss, the head of Nacelle, was basically saying is that Star Trek, because he's a fan himself, he wanted to do those characters that fans want to fill out the displays, even if they've appeared in one episode. Like one of the figures I'm looking at that comes with the Genesis device.
Yeah.
He even points out she's in the film for literally 3 minutes. She's the biggest figure in the wave. She's the deluxe box set because she comes with the Genesis device. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like these are deep cut reference characters, and they're spots that fans want to fill their shelves out with.
I tell you, I've got to tell you that my favourite amongst the bunch is Sulu with his little cup of tea.
Yes! I want that one on its own. He's my favourite Star Trek character.
It's just fucking adorable.
Yeah, with the little teacup and the saucer and everything. Like,
Yeah.
I want that. I want that.
Because that's from when he was running Excelsior. I think it was in the sixth film.
Yes, but they did state as well that he does come with accessories and phases from the second film. So if you're basically building out a Wrath of Khan collection, you could buy that version of Sulu and fit him in to that display. He will fit there, even though he's meant to be from number 6. He can fit there too, which I think is a brilliant thing to do as a toy company, to consider this for fans.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, this is Brian Von Weiss. He was behind. Do you remember the Toys That Made Us?
Yes, that's where I first heard his name watching that. I was like, oh, he's the guy who does that show. Little side note here, he actually is doing a rebooted animated series of RoboForce, Biker Mice from Mars, and a couple of other shows that all share a universe.
I never really.
Do you know what though? I was right at that age demographic for Biker Mice from Mars.
Yeah, I'd aged out by then.
I know, but seeing the bikes and the figures, I'm like, see that when we were kids, that was what we pictured those toys being like. I've gone and looked back at them. They were not like that. But the fact that the bikes have got lights and sounds and all that kind of stuff, and it's just like, and they're relatively low price points for vehicles as well. It's like, do you know what? I might start buying more nacelle products. They're branching out into areas that I'm keen on.
Yeah, they're cool.
Right then, moving on from those, up next, I'm trying to find it. Here's my little section, NECA figures. I am a big NECA collector. I have a lot of Predators. I have my new gargoyles down here finally out on display. I have my NECA Elvira up there. So these guys are definitely my wheelhouse. But the first one I want to talk about here, this kind of made me go, oh, okay, I like that idea, right? NECA, when it comes to their Ninja Turtles, they've done pretty much every version of Turtles you can think of.
Yeah.
And one of the big ones they do is the 1990s movie line. And they've done pretty much every character they can do from the first 2 films.
Yeah.
They've done Toka and Raza. And they were like, what can we do next? And they were like, well, with the anniversary coming up this year, which it pains me to say that film is 40 years old this year. Yeah. They did basically what they're calling concept Bebop and Rocksteady, because there was early talks that they were going to appear in the second film, but and very, very early on, and Toka and Raza were used instead. And these 2 figures are basically what they would have looked like from the Jim Henson puppet guys if they did that original film. And if you're a TMNT fan who specifically collects the movies, these are just a cool little what if to put up on your shelf. I mean, have Toka and Raza with Bebop and Rocksteady. Like, it was never going to happen. But now that you can have it in that live action style, that's cool. That's a cool little thing to do for the fans, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. They look really good.
They do. I mean, I don't know. The one thing I kept hearing about was people said they don't look dirty enough for Bebop and Rocksteady. You imagine them to be quite kind of grungy and gritty. And I was like, well, maybe that's a repaint down the line.
Yeah.
You know, toy companies, they like to get the use out of their molds and whatnot because they're not cheap to make. So if they can do more in those particular figures, paint jobs, different colors, it's what they're going to do. But moving on from those, this one, well, these next couple of ones, these were like, oh yeah, Tony's going to love these. I've already showed him the picture of this, but NECA have worked on this for a few years because there was some licensing issues, and how they were going to do it is because it's a big rubber shark. They finally decided that with the 50th anniversary coming up of the movie, they did a realistically looking shark, as in it looks like the shark from the film. And they've basically redone Jaws, the game that came out in the 1970s. And it is actually a working game. All the little accessories, you put it in its mouth, it's spring loaded. If it clamps down on you, you're out the game. And I'm like, And they even said you can literally just even use it as a display piece, put it with the rest of your Jaws stuff, and it will fit in nice and perfect because it looks like it should be there.
Yeah.
And I agree. Like, I'm not a huge Jaws fan. I like the film, don't get me wrong. But something like this, I'm like, you know what? If I see it for a good price, I'm buying it. Just because it's Bruce.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, it's Jaws. It's a good film, but
Yeah. And carrying on with Jaws, they have shown a ultimate Quint and Hooper.
Yeah.
Ultimate figures. They come with a crap ton of accessories to go along with your displays and everything like that. And the one thing that was brought up in videos that I watched in regards to these images is there are actually swappable parts so they can have jackets on or jackets off, both figures. Like there's swappable arms and add-on pieces to make it look like they're wearing a jacket or not wearing a jacket. So
I'll do a Quint with the beer can.
Yes, that's just one of the few accessories he comes with. Yes, of course, he comes with a beer can, of course. But yeah, those Jaws figures, I mean, just those 3 figures, the shark and those 2, would be a nice little display on a shelf. You know, them up one end, the shark in the middle.
I could see Tony buying those.
Yeah, maybe see if you can get like a little model of the boat where Jaws is chomping on it and, you know, recreate that final scene where he's getting eaten. You know, do that. Why not? But yeah, so continuing on, let me just re-unlock my bloody phone screen. This one I wanted to talk about because I've not really seen the film, but I am interested in seeing it just to say that I have. It's the Terrifier figures. I like the look of the Santa one. There's the horror bitch in the back of my brain goes, you could buy that and hide it in the Christmas tree. Every year, just have him like hanging out with that big smiley face. I'm like, you know what? As an overpriced Christmas tree ornament, very tempted. I'm very tempted by that Art the Clown dressed as Santa. I will say that. And the creepy little girl, that's icing on the cake. You know what I mean? Like creepy little demonic creatures like that. Just what I'm all about. But right. Continuing on from that, getting on to this one quickly because we have a few pictures here to talk about. We have from the sequel to the 1986 classic, Beetlejuice Ultimate Action figures. We have Beetlejuice in the striped shirt with the baby Beetlejuice, which to me just I that when I saw the film at the cinema, that surprised the crap out of me, and I really want like a living dead doll kind of style dolly of that. I really kind of want one of them.
Yeah,
something about it just. But yeah, that figure looks really good. The one thing I will point out from shots I've seen of these is it looks like the hair is ever so slightly translucent to catch the light, like it does in the film.
Yeah.
So I think that's a neat little touch. But they've done striped suit Beetlejuice, which although these are from the sequel, these are very iconic looks. They're suits that he's worn in the previous film, just sort of slightly updated. But they're also doing the wedding suit Beetlejuice, and he comes with the wedding contract that's like miles long. And up next in terms of Beetlejuice, this is actually on shelves right now. You can get this right now, and it's called the Bio Exorcist Beetlejuice, and it's basically that moment when he first pops out the coffin in the first film. From the first film. They did also talk. I will see if I can get some pictures of these because these are a little tricky to find. But they are talking about doing accessory packs that come with like Beetlejuice's coffin, his headstone, the warped fireplace with the little priest from the wedding at the end of the first film. They did show a prototype of a sandworm. And they did say that that's not going to be an accessory pack. That's going to be a pack-in as a 2-pack. But they're not sure who it's going to come with yet.
Yeah.
Now, my thought and theory is that if they're marketing that sandworm as the first film, my hope and pray is the reason why they're not showing it off yet is because they're working out the likeness rights and all that kind of stuff. I can only hope that it's Gina Davis as Barbara Maitland in the wedding dress, because if they're doing the wedding fireplace thing with the little priest and the sandworm, if you look at the bottom of the picture, it looks like it's bursting through floorboards.
Yeah.
Which is kind of how it came out in the first film. So I'm like, is that how they're going to release a Barbara Maitland figure? They're going to pack it with the sandworm, maybe.
Yeah.
This is speculation on our behalf. We don't know. NECA like to keep their cards close to their chest until they're absolute 100% certain.
That they do, yes.
I mean, to be fair, they've been burnt many times in the past by people like Nintendo and Capcom, where they've okayed the figure, they've announced the figure, then they've not okayed the figure, so they've had to call back all the marketing stuff. Then they've okayed the figure again, so they've announced it again, and then it's been outright cancelled.
Yeah.
So I can understand them waiting until like all those likeness rights and everything is stamped in ink. Yes, we're allowed to produce this figure. There's no, once we make those molds, that's it. You can't say no. Kind of, I get why they want to make it concrete before they can say anything. But given the fact that Gina Davis didn't appear in the second film, might not happen. Just saying.
Yeah. What's next?
And I think that's it for the NECA stuff.
Yeah. So
on to the next one. Super 7. I'm not going to say new company. They have been around for about 20 odd years.
Yeah.
But they're kind of getting a lot more traction, a lot more focus nowadays for their big licenses like Thundercats. Yes, which we're going to talk about here. As soon as I saw those figures in those packages, I was like, that's like they were when they first came out.
Yep.
So I'm very tempted by these because they look like those original figures. They're very basic. They don't come with many accessories. And I like them for that. Because remember my Thundercat toys, you know, you got the figure, you got a weapon or two, and that was maybe about it. And I like these for that. And the fact that they're 35, it says here $35, the picture I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Translate that over here, it's about 40 quid. I'm fine with that. I'd buy one of them. No problem.
I'd like a Mumra.
They have done a full wave. I think Mumra was in wave 1.
Yeah, they've done a monkey as well.
Yes. That was one that I really do. I remember having the original toy. I had 3 main Thundercats when I was a kid. I had Mumra, I had Lion-O, and I had Monkeyon.
Nice.
That was pretty much all I had in terms of it's all I can remember having in terms of.
Yeah, I had Lion-O and Mumra.
I had Snarf as well.
Oh, fuck Snarf.
Snarf wasn't really an action figure. It was a blob of plastic that moved its arms and it had a tail. That was it. But yeah,
I hate that little bastard.
Put him in a molten lava pit along with the Scrappy Doo.
Yeah, no, we're gonna make a fucking place where all the shit people, figures, and characters go to. So Snarf, Scrappy Doo,
crappy sidekick retirement home.
Yeah, we're selling them to a camp. Although it's getting a bit dark. Hold on.
Yes, but yeah, the figures, these Thundercat figures, they, like I said, they look to me like those original toys, and the packaging, the paint schemes, everything. And I'm just like, you know what? I might start a little Thundercats collection.
Yeah.
Super 7 have done a updated Thunder Tank for their Thundercats Ultimates line.
Ooh.
It's very, very nice. It's very, very large. The last time I looked at it online, it was selling for nearly £700.
Fuck that.
Awesome display piece. It would look brilliant on a coffee table with some of the figures sat inside of it, but
the USS flag would look awesome. But I don't try and get it, do I?
Yeah, exactly my point. Like that's when you're a top tier level collector where you've got enough money to buy one of those, or however you got hold of it, like go for it. But for me, that's too rich for my blood. But just a little shelf with the main Thundercats and a couple of the bad guys, Mumra, Slythe, the hunched lizardy one. Oh, I had him as a figure. I remember I had him as a figure as well.
Well, there you go.
Hunched, he had a big fat face. I thought if he was going to be live action, it'd be Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito with gills, basically.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah. One other thing, and I even went on their website, I could not find photos of these figures, but they've done Lemmy, Misfits, and Danzig as basically Masters of the Universe styled figures.
Nice.
And you know what, right? As soon as I saw that Lemmy, I was like, if you are a Masters of the Universe collection and you're a heavy metal fan, How could you not resist having Lemmy sat on the back of Battle Cat, holding the power sword above his head?
Yeah.
How could you not want that? I mean, it's a Lemmy figure that looks like a He-Man figure. Just
Yeah.
yeah. Take my money now. Take my money now on that one. If they do an Aussie one to go along with it, so you can do like the Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I'd buy one of each. Have them next to my Hellraiser cube. But yeah, right. So that brings us on to the one that we both really, really, really wanted to talk about tonight, because we are just over the fucking moon.
This is our headline.
That these are back. That these are back. We are over the fucking moon about this. We are talking about Mobile Armored Strike Command. Those masked warriors.
The Masked Crusaders.
The Masked Crusaders.
Cry.
Yes, this is from the Loyal Subjects. They have announced they are doing new mask toys. Now, the one thing we're going to talk about with this, because this is kind of made me go, I want them, but where would they go in my collection? Because, and this is what I'm getting to. A couple of years ago, Hasbro did this kind of big crossover event where they brought some of their most of their properties together for like a crossover event.
Yeah.
It included in that was Mask and Visionaries. And there was talks and rumors and rumblings for a while that as part of their HasLab that they do, which is where they do their bigger things like the Marvel Legends Sentinel, the Transformers Unicron, the big things that might not sell in mass market, but if you want one and they can hit enough orders, they'll put it into production and only make a set number for those people who backed it. It's like a Kickstarter, but not quite.
Yeah.
And there was rumors that they were going to do something with that. It was going to be in the Marvel Legends scale. They were going to do like a figure with one of the vehicles, and it was going to be like a Kickstarter sort of thing. And, you know, if you hit goals and stuff, you got effects pieces and things like that. Yeah. Nothing ever came of it. Nothing ever happened, right? So when these were announced, everyone lost their fucking marbles. Everyone lost their shit. Because it's like, mask toys are back. Yes, they are. Quite literally, these are not updates. These are just reproductions of those original toys.
To be fair,
that's not knock. That's not me giving them a knock. I love that idea that they are just straight up those toys you remember from being a kid.
The figures are better detailed.
Yeah, they do look better detailed. I will say that there's a bit more.
There's modern production technique.
It's a little bit like when they do a remaster of a video game. It's the same video game. It's just got that nice HD polish to it. There's a bit more detail. There's a bit more refinement to it. But scale and all that kind of stuff looks like it's the same scale as it was back then. And I'm not pissed off about that. I'm just like, see, if it had been Marvel Legends scale, that would have just gone in with my Marvel Legends and been part of that little universe over there. But because these are a separate scale, they need their own shelf. And as you can see, I have no shelf space currently.
But I do.
But no, just looking at the pictures, again, you'll see these up on screen, folks, as we're talking about them.
Yeah, these toys back in the day were good quality toys with hardware and plastic and die-cast metal.
Yes, I'm looking at this picture I've got in front of me right now, the motorbike.
Condor.
Yes, that is one of the last mask toys I can remember having hold of. Yeah. I had that up until I did a bedroom clear out when I was 16.
I had Condor.
It was one of the last toys to get thrown away. I didn't have the figure for it. The figure had long since vanished, but I still had the bike. It was one of those ones that was just always there within my toy collection. It would always float up to the surface. Like, what random green motorbike? But yeah, and just seeing these recreated versions of those old classic toys, like you said, with more detail. The truck. Oh,
Rhino.
That's the one I want. That is the main thing I want.
I always wanted Rhino as a kid. Never got him.
Adjudicator, now you know what to get him for his birthday.
Yeah, she's not listening. Well, she's pretending not to.
Just seeing these mass toys brought back in 2025, and it does look like they come with effects pieces as well for certain.
Yeah, it looks like they're not doing too many. You've got
I think it's just the main group. I think
you got Rhino, Thunderhawk, Switchblade, and Condor. I guess they're just sort of seeing how much units are we going to sell on these. Then maybe
you know what, right? I think with a franchise like Mask, and I think this is why other toy companies haven't really done anything with it, because it's like how much appeal is really there.
Yeah.
Doing just this wave, even if it's just these what, 1, 2, 3, 4 that we've got here in these photographs. If it's just these 4 and they don't do any others, that's fine. At least we've got new Mask stuff. But if these do well enough, you know for a fact the company's going to go, right, let's push forward. Let's do some more of the vehicles. Maybe because if they're keeping with that original scale, there is a possibility we could see a Boulder Hill playset done scale with it. And if they do that, given the size of it, it wouldn't be too big, it wouldn't be too expensive. You could fill up a Mask shelf and have that playset there with it as well.
That'd be awesome.
You know, a bit like Mattel did with Castle Grayskull. They brought it back out, and it's got updated like designs and detail work and all that kind of stuff. And you can buy it brand new for less than £100. Given the size of it, it's in a box like this.
Yeah,
less than £100. That's a fairly good price for a playset nowadays. Especially if you do the conversion rate, it'd probably work out to buy an original one. It would cost you more.
Yeah,
by today's standards. So. But yeah, I mean, these Mask toys, just as soon as they were announced, as soon as I seen, I was like, I need to tell Guy about these, because we talked about these a while ago that, there's rumors there's new Mask toys coming. And they drop. Like, we were just like, oh.
I think we were talking about it on the last Geek Chat.
I think we did, yeah, that there was rumors and rumblings about it, yeah. And boom, here we go.
Yeah. Hey.
Right, moving on to the next bit of geeky news. This one's more for you, Guy, and it is the announcement of Netflix, the 27th of June, 2025, Squid Game Season 3.
Yeah, that sort of came. I was like, what?
Boom, out of nowhere.
Yeah. We waited ages for Season 2. And there's like, boom, I'm like, what?
You got to think maybe they filmed Season 2 and 3 together and then just released them slightly apart, maybe.
Yeah, could be, yeah. But I'm happy.
It's more Squid Games. You're happy. I still need to get on that. It is still on my watch list.
Oh, you would so love it.
I know. I'm looking for a good horror-y kind of series to sink my teeth into. And I think Squid Games, with the 3rd season coming up, I think it's time to binge watch 1 and 2, honestly. Just dive getting with it.
Yeah. I really think you'll love
it. I think I may have to. But yes, so you're much anticipated with that, aren't you?
I am, yeah. It's bloody good. It's a great TV show. It keeps you. I mean, the first episode of season 1, it's a bit slow, but once you're there.
I like a good slow burn, though.
Yeah, and once you're in, it's like, what follow?
Boom, straight in your fucking face. But up next, we're going to talk about a video game that Guy brought to my... I knew this was coming. I just didn't realize it was quite this soon.
Yeah.
We're talking about the remake, not a remaster, a full-on, from the ground up remake of Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. Now, I am a long time fan of the Metal Gear Solid series. I discovered it on PlayStation 1 with the first Metal Gear Solid game, and I've loved it ever since. I've played most of them, even like they did some collector's editions or collected editions where it had the earlier games on it. I've even played through those too.
Yeah.
And to hear that this game's getting a full-on remake and everything, it kind of fills me with joy. But
did you watch the trailer I sent you link to?
I watched most of it. I was in the middle of having to sort something with someone.
Right.
Personal matter, not talking about it. I'm the one thing that scares me, because I love this human being, David Hayter, as the voice of Solid Snake. if they have not brought him back to voice this version of Solid Snake, I'm not going to be happy.
Oh, couldn't they just use the original audio files?
They could do, but I don't know if that would work.
I don't know. Oh, come on! Look at the Beatles using AI to make.
True. You know what? I mean,
you know what? You can do anything.
It could do, but I think it would just be nice to bring him back because I was one of those people, and I even actually sent David Hayter a message about this, and he said, "Thank you, you rock." I put a tweet out to him saying that because I'd recently, at the time, started playing Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
And it was when Kiefer Sutherland took over as Solid Snake. And obviously, big Hollywood actor, you can tell they paid him per line because he's got next to fuck all voice lines in the game. And I'm used to Solid Snake being quite a talkative character. And to not have his voice, like I said, I sent a tweet out saying, as much as I'm liking Metal Gear Solid 5, there has either only been one and will ever only ever be one Solid Snake for me, and that is at David Hayter. And that was when he actually privately messaged me to say, "Thank you, you rock." I was like, that's quite nice of him. But it would just be nice to see him come back to the franchise because
it would, because as much as I love Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, when it's such a big part of the character, and I've heard that voice from that character from the vast majority of the series, apart from one game. It's jarring. Yeah. It's very jarring. So I'd like to see him come back. But from the trailer I saw and the little snippets I picked up about this game, it looks fucking awesome. It's another reason I need a PlayStation 5. Like, soon as I saw the first little cutscenes, I was like, I need PS5. This is my one reason to start saving up now. As much as GTA 6, we're going to get to that in just a second. As much as I'd love to get it for GTA 6 and Spider-Man 2, this game is the game that makes me want to, because Snake Eater was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Much more emotionally driven.
I just want them to do the remix and remaster treatment with Guns of the Patriots, because that's my favorite.
And to date, the only one you can't play on anything but a PlayStation 3. You have to have the original hardware to be able to play number 4. It's basically
luckily I have.
Yes, but still having to go back to old tech and old hardware just to play a game.
Yep.
At this point, we'd take a HD remaster rather than a remake. You know what I mean? It's been that long since some of us have played number 4. Just do a HD remaster, or fuck it. Do what Rockstar did with Red Dead. Don't even upscale it or nothing. Just bring out the same game and charge people 50 fucking quid for it.
Yeah.
Which I think is really ironic if you're an Xbox owner, because you didn't even need to buy the re-release. You could have just bought the original Xbox 360 game because it works via backwards compatibility. That's how I'm currently playing it in my bedroom.
Boo.
To Rockstar. Speaking of Rockstar, GTA 6, they say no news is good news. When it comes to Grand Theft Auto, no news is fucking irritating news.
Yes, I think they're doing this on purpose to keep us fucking talking about it.
Mm-hmm. They're building the hype up. They know what to do.
Yeah, but we had one trailer 1. They called it trailer 1 in 2023.
Yeah.
It's 2025.
2 years later. And the thing that really infuriates me is they actually basically halted online support for Red Dead Redemption 2 so that they could pull people from that department to work on Grand Theft Auto 6. Yeah. You would have thought that if you're pulling people from different departments to work on a game, you'd want to be showing it off by now.
Yeah.
Not keeping it behind closed doors. This has me worried.
Come on, Rockstar. Raise the game.
I've got a funny feeling this is going to be one of those games where it's going to be like Cyberpunk 2077, where the hype is so high for it that when it comes out and it's a glitchy, buggy, broken fucking mess, that's all it's going to be remembered for. Because from what I've seen of the Cyberpunk game, the launch of that was disastrous.
I know, but they've had 10 years.
They've had 10 years to get this right. You'd think they'd be there with it by now, but it's Rockstar. you never fucking know. Because apparently, rumors are that they're actually starting working on Red Dead Redemption 3 right now as well. Talk about spreading yourself thin.
Fuck that. Leave that alone. Concentrate on GTA 6.
Well, I say when they've started work on Red Dead Redemption 3, the early rumors are they've started working on the script for it. No actual development has started there. They're working on the script, and the estimated window that anybody could even earliest expect Red Dead 3 would be around 2027 to 2028, marking it around 10 years since the previous one. Which, knowing Rockstar, it will come out by the time I'm 65.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's nearly it.
I think that is, yeah. I think
Geek news
out there.
Yeah. That's pretty much it for the geeky news.
That it? Yep. Oh, camera's nodding. Yep.
Yep. I think we're pretty much done for the geeky news for tonight. That is all. One thing we will quickly cover. I saw some posters and stuff today about some new horror films that are coming. Predator Badlands. Well, it's just called Badlands, but it's basically Predator Badlands. Is coming out it's penciled in for November. Gotta wait a while for that one. I want to see it given the way Prey went.
Gotcha.
And this is a sequel to Prey. I want to see what happens next. I'm intrigued enough to want to. But again, much like with any film, the closer it gets to release date, the more we're going to hear, the more bits we're going to see about it, the more we'll talk about it. But to be honest, all the other horror films I kind of looked at, it's mostly sequels and stuff like that, or reboots. And I'm like,
yeah.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 3. I've not even been seeing the first two, although I do want to see them. I just don't want to see them enough to pay to rent them or buy them. I'd rather wait until they're free somewhere.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those, I want to see it, but I'm in no rush.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're not.
Other than that, I think that's the geeky news covered.
I'd say so.
This week we've hit our over hour mark. I told you we'd fit an hour. I told you we would. It was that corpsing during the comments section that that's what's dragged our length on tonight. We all like dragging our length, don't we, guys?
Yes, we do. Well, that hurts when it's on the floor. Chafing.
Careful on a gravel road.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, right then. We're going to say goodnight right now.
Yes, because we're both ill.
Yes, we're going to go and get some rest. I think we are.
Yes.
But we will catch you in the next episode, the penultimate episode. The end of the road is drawing very fucking nigh.
Yeah.
But more on that later in this season.
Yes, indeed.
We'll catch you next week, everyone. As always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, share to your friends, share to your cat, share to your dog, share to your goldfish. Just leave it on repeat. He won't know. He won't remember.
Don't tell your priest, though.
Definitely not. But anyway, I have been that bitch, Calista Valentine.
I'm the man with the random man with a plan. I also like flan, but not spam.
No. No spam.
No spam. Okay, we'll see you all next time.
Good night, everyone. Catch you in the next one. Bye.